My name is Lorna. I am 27 years old. 3 months ago I went to a gala fundraiser. And Callum Hartley, CEO of Hartley Global, stood up in front of 200 people, got down on one knee and proposed to me in front of everyone. Then his assistant, a woman I'd never spoken to before, slid a folder across my lap marked, "Do not sign." Before I tell you what was inside that folder, could you do me a quick favor? If you like these stories, please like and subscribe and drop a comment below saying what country you're watching from. It really helps more than you know. Okay, let's start from the beginning. I met Callum at a coffee shop. Not a cute one. A franchise one near the train station that always smells like burnt milk. I was there because I'd missed my usual train and had 20 minutes to kill. He was there because, I don't know, rich people also need coffee, I guess. He spilled his latte on my coat. A beige coat that I'd saved up for. He apologized about 6 times and insisted on paying for the dry cleaning. Then he asked for my number. I thought it was a polite thing. I didn't think he'd actually text. But he did. We went for dinner that weekend. Somewhere with cloth napkins. I had to Google which fork to use before I went. He was nice. Really nice. Normal even. He didn't talk about money. He asked about my job, my family, what I did on weekends. I told him I mostly watched TV and went to my mum's on Sundays. He laughed like that was charming. We started dating. If you can call it that. He'd pick me up in cars that cost more than my yearly salary. I tried not to think about it. He took me to restaurants where they don't list the prices on the menu. I always felt like I was wearing the wrong shoes. But he never made me feel small. That's the thing. He'd hold my hand under the table. He'd text me good night even when he was traveling. He bought my mum flowers once just because. Thought maybe this is real. Maybe this happens to normal people sometimes. After 4 months he said he wanted me to meet his family. I said okay. I was terrified, obviously. His family owns half the commercial property in the city. I own a flat-pack bookshelf from IKEA that I put together wrong so it leans to the left. The family dinner was at his parents' estate. Not house. Estate. There were people serving the food. I wore a black dress I'd bought that afternoon and the price tag kept scratching my back because I forgot to cut it off properly. His mum was cold. Polite but cold. She asked what I did and when I said data entry she just said, "Oh," and took a sip of her wine. His dad didn't really look at me. His younger brother, Stefan, was nice enough. He worked in the company too, something about acquisitions. He asked me normal questions. What part of the city I lived in. I liked hiking. I don't, but I said sometimes. After that dinner, Callum said it went well. I didn't think it went well. But I didn't say anything. 2 months later he proposed. Not in private. At this huge gala his company was hosting. Some charity thing for children's hospitals. I didn't even know it was happening. He told me we were just going to a work event and that I should wear something nice. I borrowed a dress from my friend Phoebe. It was dark green and a bit too long. I had to hold it up when I walked so I didn't trip. The venue was this giant hotel ballroom. Chandeliers everywhere. There were maybe 200 people there. Everyone in suits and gowns that actually fit them. I recognized a few faces from the news. A footballer. Someone from the mayor's office, I think. I just stood near the bar and sipped water because I didn't know what else to do. Callum was busy. Shaking hands. Laughing. He looked comfortable. Like he was born to stand in rooms like that. I felt like I was wearing a costume. Halfway through the night the music stopped. Someone handed Callum a microphone. I thought he was going to make a speech about the charity. He did at first. He talked about donations and impact and thank you for coming. Then he looked right at me. He said my name. Everyone turned around. I froze. My hands went cold. He walked toward me, still holding the microphone. He was smiling. That same smile he gave me in the coffee shop. Then he got down on one knee. I don't really remember what he said. Something about love. Something about knowing from the moment he met me. Something about wanting to spend his life with me. The room was so quiet. You could hear someone's heels clicking on the floor in the back. He pulled out a ring. It looked like it cost more than my car. Everyone was staring. I felt my face go hot. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. So I just nodded. Everyone clapped. Someone whistled. Callum stood up and kissed me and I felt like I was watching it happen to someone else. People came up to congratulate us. Strangers hugged me. Someone handed me champagne. I just kept smiling. My cheeks hurt. Then I sat down at one of the tables near the back. My legs were shaking. I needed a second. I put my bag on the chair next to me. That's when she appeared. A woman. Maybe mid-40s. She was wearing a gray suit. Her hair was tied back. She had one of those lanyards with a name badge. It said, Dinah Frost, Executive Assistant. I'd never seen her before. She didn't say anything. She just placed a folder in my lap. It was plain. Brown. The kind you get from any stationery shop. But on the front, someone had written in black marker, "Do not sign." I looked up at her. She looked back at me. Her face was blank. She didn't smile. She didn't nod. She just turned and walked away. I sat there holding the folder. My heart was pounding. I could hear Callum laughing somewhere across the room. I looked around. No one was watching me. So I opened it. Inside were papers. Legal papers. A contract. I'm not a lawyer, I didn't understand half of it. But there were sections highlighted in yellow. I read those parts. Prenuptial agreement. I expected that. That made sense. But then I kept reading. There was a clause about public appearances. Minimum 12 per year. Another one about social media. Any posts about Callum or his family had to be pre-approved by the company's communications team. Another about where we'd live. Not we'd decide. Where we'd live. A house owned by the Hartley estate. If we divorced, I'd have no claim to it. I flipped the page. There was another section. About children. If we had children, custody would default to Callum in the event of separation unless I could prove. And this is the part that made my stomach drop. Financial stability and equivalent social standing. I read that line 3 times. Then I saw the last page. It was an email. Printed out. The sender was Callum's mum. The recipient was someone called Howard Lamb. Lawyer, I'm guessing. The date was 2 weeks before Callum even proposed. The email said, "Proceed with standard arrangement. He'll sign. Girls like her always do." I closed the folder. My hands were numb. I just sat there, holding it, staring at the tablecloth. There was a wine stain near the corner. Someone had tried to cover it with a napkin. I don't know how long I sat there. Maybe 2 minutes. Maybe 10. Then I saw her again. Dinah. She was standing by the doorway. Just watching me. She didn't smile. She didn't come over. She just gave me this tiny nod. Then she left. I stood up. My legs felt wobbly. I picked up my bag. I still had the folder in my hand. I started walking toward the exit. Slowly. I wasn't running. I wasn't making a scene. I just walked. Callum caught up with me near the door. He was still smiling. He said, "Where are you going? People want to meet you." I turned around. I looked at him. Really looked at him. And for the first time I realized I didn't know him at all. I said, "I can't do this." His smile faded a bit. He said, "What do you mean?" I handed him the folder. He opened it. I watched his face. He went pale. Then red. Then he looked around to see if anyone was watching. No one was. Everyone was still drinking and chatting. He lowered his voice. He said, "Lorna. This is standard. Everyone does this. It doesn't mean anything." I said, "It means everything." He tried to touch my arm. I stepped back. He said, "Let's talk about this at home." "Not here." I said, "There's nothing to talk about." I slid the ring off my finger. It was too big anyway. I'd been holding my hand in a fist all night so it wouldn't fall off. I put it in his hand. Then I walked out. No one followed me. No one stopped me. The valet looked confused when I said I didn't have a car. I just walked to the main road and called an Uber. I sat on the curb and waited. My dress got dirty. I didn't care. When I got home I sat in my car for 15 minutes and cried. Not because I was sad. Not because I loved him. But because for a few months, I'd really believed that someone like him could see someone like me and think I was enough. And now I knew the truth. I was never enough. I was just convenient. Callum texted me the next day. Then the day after. Then his brother Stefan called. I didn't answer any of them. A week later I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. It just said, "You made the right choice. D." I never saw Dinah again. I don't know why she helped me. Maybe she'd seen it happen before. Maybe she was just tired of watching girls like me get swallowed up by families like his. I still work in data entry. I still live in my flat with the wonky bookshelf. And sometimes when I'm on the train I see his face on a billboard or in the business section of a newspaper. And I don't feel sad. I just feel glad I walked away. Some people aren't meant to fit into gilded cages, no matter how beautiful they look from the outside.
Oh, this was the story of today. I'm very glad to say that you people are supporting our channel, watching our videos, subscribes. So thank you for watching.